All right, we're getting somewhere. Come on, you boy. Come on. Oh, what a death.
Davis, phoning it in.
Hello there, my name is Evan Peters from American Horror Story, and welcome back to Davey Phones It In, a show where I review video games based on the first 15 minutes of gameplay, because it's hard to squeeze this all in between filming American Horror Story and having vases thrown at me by Emma Roberts. Star Wars. I couldn't think of a better way to begin this. Star Wars and video games have had an almost symbiotic relationship that permeates the near entirety of both of their existences. Right back to when a young George Lucas played the 1962 classic Space War and famously said, "Fuck me, this would make a great film." These days, I'd say I have the ideal relationship with Star Wars. I watch the films, I have a fine time, and I walk away. I'm not going to argue with you on Twitter about it, don't worry. There was a time, however, in the mid-1990s when I was a chubby little 10-year-old and I didn't know a bloody thing about Star Wars. Zippo, nada. That's when I was given Super Return of the Jedi as a sort of hand-me-down for my pretentious English cousin's posh ponce of a boyfriend who just got himself a brand new PlayStation. And therefore 16-bit games were, for the paws, darling. So we asked a tenner a pop from my folks for his old Super Nintendo games, giving this proper Irish muck savage a morsel of meat from the table like only an English bastard can. So let's go into this week's review and consider what it's like to learn all about Star Wars from a Super Nintendo game based on the final film in a trilogy of films. A game I've come to realize takes a lot of creative license. Now, if you don't know anything about Star Wars, then this is obviously very confusing. You don't know who any of these characters are, and this little fucker starts laughing at you. It's almost like you're being mocked for not knowing what's going on. Besides, I obviously know some of these characters. That's Dr. Bigface. I gotta say though, this is probably the most practical use I've ever seen of Nintendo's Mode 7 technology. Almost as good as this classic. Alright, time to put on my best 10-year-old voice.
Meanwhile on Tatooine, Luke, Leia, and Chewie race in a land speeder towards Jabba the Hutt's palace to rescue Han Solo. I don't know what any of that means.
I don't know why 10-year-old me has an American accent. You must remember this classic bit from the film. The extended section in the jumping hover car where everyone tries to collect tokens and avoid jumping into the void. You know, the sandless voids of Tatooine. Also, I love the use of the word race here. Race usually implies that you're competing against someone or the clock, but all you're asked to do here is make it to the end, which is kind of a low expectation for a race. Imagine setting down a racing legend like Dale Earnhardt and saying, "I just need you to get to the end. Do you think you can do that?" Actually, that's not a great example. As dawn approaches, Luke, Leia, and level 2. At least there's a bit of variety in this game. You gotta pick between Luke, Leia, and mummified Steve Tyler, which is just Steve Tyler. Alright, first, let's take a look at Luke. Return the Jedi logo there, in case you forgot what game you were playing. Oh, what the fuck? I just dropped into the game, and a bird just... It happened again! Oh, I sure hope this isn't foreshadowing the game's difficulty in any way. What the fuck? Surely you remember these lovable characters from the film. Look, there's our old pal Giant Mantis, not to mention Snarling Dragon and visibly frustrated red-eyed Triceratops being. And if you don't remember the flying carpet section, are you even a real fan? Now I'm just waiting for some goober to show up in the comments and tell me that this is all canonical. Oh, you should read the books. Health sword. Nothing says health like a blade used for murder. Here, let me cram this health sword in between your ribs. Don't worry, it's a health sword. You'll feel better. Stop fighting me. What the fuck? No! Oh, shit in the can. Oh, no. No. Not this time, you... No! Oh, no! At the risk of sounding like a little baby, this game goes beyond being hard to being a little unfair. In between being relentlessly picked up by huge birds that take you much further back into the level like some sort of suicidal field mouse, I'm constantly accosted by sudden traps and falling debris in a way that would make Indiana Jones do a big wet one. The level design sucks ass too, offering no real sense of progression and no reward for attempting the shitty platforming. Yeah, I hear you. Get good. Yeah, spend time away from your wife and kid playing this shitty old Star Wars game. Eat my dung. Oh, we got the Darth Vader head. What does it do? What does it do? 2-point bonus! You remember that pivotal moment in the film where Vader says,
Look, my son, I need you to take off my helmet
"Of course, Father, but why?"
for a 2-point bonus.
All right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting come on, you boy. Come on. Oh, what a death. All right, big boss time. What is it? It's a big ball. We could have maybe come up with something cooler. I don't know. Must admit, though, it's as hard as anything else in this game, and it used to make me swallow my teeth in rage as a kid. As a result, I now have an innate fear of balls, which severely hinders my day-to-day life. Also, grow up. Thank Christ. The 15-minute timer went off. The 15-minute timer that means nothing. Because I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I spent at least 43 minutes in this game trying to get somewhere. Yes, I broke my own premise on the 3rd episode. So what have we done today? We met some lovable new Star Wars friends, we've done some shitty racing, and had our ass repeatedly placed in the bagging area, scanned and given to us in a gift bag. I'll give it a couple of points for variety, but overall, Super Return of the Jedi gets a still stinky 3 out of 10. Oh, another controversial rating for Star Wars. The fanbase is going to be in uproar about this one. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Davey Phones It In. Don't forget to leave a comment to tell me your unnecessarily strong and rigid opinions about why I rated this game incorrectly, possibly combining it with a racial expletive to really deliver me a 1-2 combo to the brain. We all like to have fun here on YouTube. Anyway, I've got to get back to American Horror Story, so I'll see you next week if there is one. American Horror Story, away!
I didn't write any lyrics to this song, cause David, oh David, oh David's phoning it in.